Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. So today we have yet again another 2020 election prediction. This will probably be the last one until the next set. If not, it'll probably, the ones after this will probably won't be mainstream candidates like Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden. It'll probably be something a little bit different, some like an offbeat candidate or someone who just like said they might run, who pops up in the Wikipedia potential, whatever. So today we have Secretary Hillary Clinton. Of course, you all know her from the 2016 general election versus Donald Trump. I pretty much use this one as a point of reference to see how Donald Trump is doing because he did win against her in 2016, 306 to 232. So I'm trying to see if he's lost in any support against Hillary Clinton. I mean, come 2020, she would probably do better than she did in 16, but it doesn't mean she would win the election. I mean, if she was the nominee again. Um, and that's just based off the pure reason that the Donald Trump is a very unpopular incumbent, and also that we've never had four presidents consecutively reelected. So we're gonna see where Hillary Clinton stands today against Donald Trump. I've had previous predictions of him beating her beating him. We'll see where he stands today with a 42% approval rating. So starting on the West Coast, obviously a number of these states they won't change. And Utah probably won't have someone like Evan McMullin running again. Nebraska's second district, like always, would be considered a toss-up. Texas, not so much. Probably a number of these like ruby red states will still be ruby red. So Arizona and Georgia, I'm just going to get the Trump off the bat because I don't think if Hillary Clinton couldn't do it in 2016, I doubt she would be able to do it in 2020. She may be a strong candidate experience-wise, but again, African American turnout, Latino turnout. She chose Tim Kaine of all people to be her VP. Um, I think he did help her, like especially with Virginia voters. But people like Virginia voters, except that was in the group that she needed to appeal to in the election. I kind of see it as a strategic play, but I feel like Julian Castro, the number one um, guy they talked about before Tim Kaine was the actual pick. I think that he would have been much better for her in states like Arizona, states like Florida. But it all comes down to, well, it already passed, so it doesn't really matter at this point, does it? So 182 electoral votes for Hillary Clinton, 190 for Donald Trump. Now, states like New Mexico probably would go to Hillary Clinton again. States that she won, that I'm going to label all as toss-up, I'm going to label the state of Nevada as a toss-up. The state of Virginia, not really. I still see that one going to a Democratic candidate, considering how Democratic it's gotten since the 2016 election. As we saw in the House of Delegates, what we saw in a number of other statewide special elections, what we saw in the governor's race, probably would stay with the Democratic Party. Over in Colorado, don't see much of it going to Donald Trump. He's expanding towards the right, and it's not necessarily the best thing when you have a super low approval rating in a state like Colorado, and it's not going to be easy for him to make up the margins. It's not even in 40% in Colorado, so it's less than the national average. So 209 electoral votes for Hillary Clinton, 190 for Donald Trump. Now the states, actually Minnesota would consider that one a toss-up. Now the states that Donald Trump won that I would consider toss-ups, pretty much the entire Rust Belt. I mean, at this point, it's pretty too close to call. Probably will be for any presidential nominee, other than solid mainstream candidates who I highly doubt could be brought down. Iowa, not so much. Ohio, not so much, especially against Hillary Clinton. This puts Donald Trump at 214 electoral votes. Now, we go to Nebraska second. I would consider that one toss-up. Over in North Carolina, again, another toss-up state. In Florida, I mean, the March for Our Lives was yesterday, so I would consider that one toss-up. Actually, New Hampshire, a state that Hillary Clinton won, I still think she would hold on to the state of New Hampshire. I think she would be able to hold on to those voters and pretty much win them another year around. Over in Maine, their 4 electoral votes, I think Trump would carry 1, and Hillary Clinton would carry the rest, as it was in 2016. So 216 electoral votes for Hillary Clinton, 215 for Donald Trump. Now here's the first state that I'm flipping. I'm flipping the state of Nevada into Donald Trump's column because I think he could grasp those voters and bring them over to his side. Even though I gave it to Hillary Clinton in previous predictions, I think his approval rating on the rise in the state of Nevada alone, not necessarily on a national average because it's still low. It's higher in Nevada than it is nationally. And again, like I said in previous videos, it's him solidifying his base, but I don't think Clinton will have the excitement she had in 2016. Now, some of you can argue she barely had any excitement, but if that excitement's gone, she loses a number of key voters, like Latino voters, against Donald Trump. So I think that the state of Nevada could actually go to Donald Trump this time. But the state of Minnesota, I still think would retain in the Clinton column. I think it would be easier for her to hold on to that state. Over in Nebraska, I don't really see Clinton appealing to Midwestern voters that well. I would give that one to Donald Trump. Over in North Carolina, pretty much lean red, I give that one to Donald Trump. Um, Down in Florida, that's a state that I think Donald Trump would carry just because of the fact that, I mean, sure, the March for Our Lives definitely something that should be viewed as hurtful to Republicans because a number of these voters are key Democratic voters. I mean, that's typically how it is on the Second Amendment. And when a new wave of voters come out to vote against a Republican nominee, someone like Donald Trump, the young vote sure can go for Hillary Clinton, but the margins need to be there. You need to get a candidate who can remind them about the outrage that they had. They can come out and vote in midterms and have extended minority and young voter turnout. But when it comes to the 2020 general election, when everyone forgets about things like this, when everyone forgot about what happened in 2017, 2018 will likely be brushed over. When we come to 2020, these figures that we see on the TV screen now, like on CNN or on Fox or on MSNBC, we'll probably forget about them. Now, they'll still have an image in our brain, but it doesn't necessarily mean this will be the top issue when we come down to voting, because a lot more scandals are going to come out about the president. That's just a given, just based off the way his administration has been going. And Donald Trump is likely going to distract the American public. I mean, he's great at that. Every time another scandal comes up, something new pops up, and something that he does, like after the whole Stormy Daniels thing, that's still a thing, but again, he brings up something else just to divert attention away, or like when there's a special election and the Republicans lose, or if there's just a governor election like in Virginia and the Republicans lose, he diverts attention away so it doesn't seem like a devastating loss for him. So that's something he would definitely do, especially with something like this. He'll let this go over for a little bit, he'll try to take credit for it, and then the American public will likely forget. Now, if this time is different, then the electorate will definitely change in the shift of the Democrats' favor, but as of what I'm seeing right now, America continually lets tragedies happen, and we forget about them, and we always offer our prayers, but no change ever happens. Um, Back to the video, 226 electoral votes for Hillary Clinton, 266 for Donald Trump. I think Trump would take this election. I think he would carry Pennsylvania, yet again. And I also think he would carry Wisconsin, yet again. But the state of Michigan, I would see going to Hillary Clinton. Now, a lot of you may disagree with this point, but Pennsylvania and Wisconsin are pretty much states that no one suspected of going red. Michigan was completely out of the ballpark. Now, Michigan is a state that Donald Trump made a last-minute play in 2016. I think that definitely resonated with white working-class voters. But Michigan, of all the states, Donald Trump has paid the least attention to, and it's a state he won by the lowest amount. I mean, he went to Wisconsin for a thank you tour. He went to Pennsylvania for campaign events. But Michigan has been pretty much neglected the same way they felt about the Democrats neglecting them. The Rust Belt is pretty much like Indiana. If President Trump has a bad candidate in 2020, he'll probably hold on to the Rust Belt. But this was a one-time thing. This isn't a continuous thing. The Rust Belt will not be red come 2024 or past elections. I mean, the Democrats clearly have an advantage with minority voters in future elections. But at this point, I think Donald Trump would narrowly carry Pennsylvania and Wisconsin yet again, and I think Hillary Clinton would narrowly carry the state of Michigan. Final electoral map, Hillary Clinton with 242 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 296. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.